Good morning, YouTube. I apologise about the noise. I'm at the side of the road. Quite busy for a Sunday morning. Yeah, so I suppose you gathered from the title, I now consider myself to be rather white-pilled. You know, not perfect. Still, obviously, sometimes get some anxiety due to this YouTube malarkey, thinking that, it's like the imposter syndrome gets to me. But overall, about life, I do feel rather white-pilled. Like I say, everything seems to be sort of working in my favour a bit better these days. And there was a study. I believe there's some studies that Brett Weinstein mentioned that religious people do better in life, apparently. And I have checked it with like ChatGPT, and it confirmed it. I haven't looked at the studies though, so maybe I should have a little deeper look into that. But I do feel since I've adopted Christianity and accepted it fully that things are starting to move forward for me. I gotten to know Tay, who was doing course protection work for Charlie Veach. Sort of talked to him each day. Not a lot of messages back and forth, but got to know him. I'm helping trying to grow his channel with him. Help set up like a Telegram group that we'll use for things in the future, things like that. And then also another YouTuber called Ricky Doolan, who was apparently talking at the Unite the Kingdom rally, but I never saw him. But I was watching it at the same time as helping my brother, because my brother is wanting to set up a YouTube channel, not the same sort of channel as me, but he wants to set one up. And so I was kind of distracted whilst we were still watching it. So I still remember the other speeches, but must have missed Ricky's somehow. But I joined his live stream a few nights ago. I think it was Friday night. And told them I'd gone to church Tuesday for the first time. They had a little bit of fanfare for me, which was rather nice. And then Ricky said he needed clippers. So I volunteered to be a clipper for him. So far I've only managed to do one, because yesterday my DaVinci Resolve needed updating, which took hours. And then when I went out to record a video that then didn't have any audio. So this is like the second time I'm mentioning this now. But overall, things going good, I think. So the networking aspect of YouTube is going quite strong. And that's the advice you need to have. Well, the advice to give you when you're setting up a new channel is you need to network with people in a sort of similar space to you. And, well, I wouldn't say I'm in the Christian space. That's not my purpose. There is overlap, because Ricky Doolan talks about British politics as well, like current affairs. He just so happens to be Christian. Obviously a much bigger channel than me. But the networking side is what helps channels grow. So I feel rather good. And then yesterday I put a status on Facebook about my video not having any audio, and I was annoyed, and I'd wasted an hour. And then an old school friend of mine invited me out to the pub. So I grabbed the bull by the horns and went and met them, and made some new friends. And one of them even wants to come on my channel and do like a podcast together, seeing as he's, I would say, he's atheist / spiritual, not so much adopting a Judeo-Christian faith, but we still have lots of overlap with some of the more kooky things, like the facts to do with the moon. The moon's quite weird, and many people such as me think that the moon might potentially not be from our solar system, or even be an actual real moon. It might be synthetic. I was talking about that with him. But obviously there's other parts where we disagree, so that would create really good content, I think. That juxtaposition, that similarity but different. So yeah, I'm quite excited for that. If he still wants to do it, I mean, maybe he was just drunk and he'd not thought it through, but we'll see. And so now I'm just walking up to the church. It's been a nice day. Yesterday it was raining all day long. My coat is still a bit wet from the walk home from the pub. But Uh, Today is nice. The sun is shining. There's not much wind. It's obviously a lot cooler now than it was a few months ago. Though I'm starting to get a bit warm in this coat, but I would rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Yeah, so I suppose one thing I'd mentioned in the other video as well is I got into a bit of a debate with somebody on Twitter, right? And you can always tell when somebody's not really having a genuine debate when they mute you and then reply, so you don't get the notification. Obviously, just trying to get the last word, but I caught them anyway, and I got the last word because I was the one in the right. And I was responding to somebody on Twitter that was saying that the UK is secular, and this isn't true, right? I've known this since I was at college. When I was at college, I did like a combined studies diploma, where I had like politics modules and sort of IT modules. And when I was at college, we did learn that the UK is not secular. We have bishops in the House of Lords, known as the Lord Spiritual. It's consequently rendering the fact the UK is not secular. And this individual told me that most people identify as non-religious, which as a layman I would have maybe presumed to be true until I researched it, and it was false. 46% of people are Christian, and something like 32%, something like that, non-religious, and it's like something like 10% are Islamic. So don't know what the hell kind of crazy stuff he'd been smoking, but yeah, most people are Christian in the country still. And obviously the head of the church is the king, and Parliament governs on behalf of the king. So, you know, the very top of the hierarchy essentially is Christian, even if he's a bit of a quisling and not many people trust him, I don't feel, because he doesn't really seem to have the Church of England or Britain's best interests at heart. But yeah, and then also you have to take into account the fact our flags all have saints' crosses on them. St. George's cross, St. Andrew's banner, I think is it called, and St. Patrick's cross. Well, that might be the one that's called St. Patrick's banner. Again, confused. So I don't know where this guy was getting the fact that we're secular from. So the only thing I could find is that some scholars consider the Britain to be secular. So like, all right, so some academics that don't like religion are just arguing it for the sake of it. That's all. When all evidence points to the contrary. But one of the reasons I feel white-pilled as well is that there is a Christian revival happening. People are coming back to their faith, such as me. I feel like I'm part of a big sort of movement. I mean, it was organic with me. I had my sort of first message from God in 2016. I didn't really take it 100% as a sign that I should adopt my faith until, whoa, doggy. And then another message in the end of 2021. And subsequent messages from God in 2022, really. And then here and there. So it's been a long journey, but finally got here. Yes, me on this corner. Yeah. And one of the biggest streamers called Tectone, he has also decided to come back to church in the United States, obviously. He had said that he was sort of raised Christian, and then he had rebelled against it, being a contrarian. So I sort of see the same concepts as me. I was very contrarian. I was, definitely learned in the old agnostic side. I would definitely have learnt more to atheism in my early 20s, but not now. And it is funny though, I suppose, in one aspect, that when I told some of the people some of the new friends I'd made, that I was Christian now and I believed in God, some of them, they're like, "You don't dare," and trying. No, I don't think they're trying to talk it down. I don't think they were trying to be rude, but obviously it's just that skepticism. I find it interesting because there's nothing any atheist is going to be able to say to me that I haven't already said, and I don't already know how to debunk. So it is interesting. And I think maybe I don't want to insult anybody with this, but maybe sometimes it's like cope inside people's brain. They want to cope with their situation that they don't believe in God, so they try and convince other people there's no God. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. Just find it intriguing that, why would you? Because I don't proselytize to people. I'm not trying to convince people to come to God. But for some reason, people don't believe in God, try and pull you away for some reason. And maybe that's just the old journey with faith, that you will be tested, even by people who aren't being malicious. It's like I say, I don't want this to sound like I'm being rude to anybody. These new group of people I've met, I don't want them to see the video and then like talk smack about us, because I'm not. It's just I find that the concept of trying to talk you out of being a believer very intriguing, especially when I spent most of my life not being a believer. Like, it's not something I'm going to go change my mind on again, especially with the experiences I've had. Because not only have I had like the messages from God, I have also had paranormal experiences. Like, I've met the night hag. I've had like other spooky events I don't know the names for. I think Christians would more or less put it under the banner of demons. I mean, they don't believe that it's the ghosts of long dead people, but for me, ghosts is just like a catch-all term for any sort of supernatural entity we can't identify that isn't maybe a cryptid sort of thing. But it is what it is, I suppose. And I might be rambling a bit in this video. It is just off the top of my head. But overall, I'm feeling white-pilled. And I suppose just to say that, if anybody doesn't know what white-pilled is being optimistic about life. And I've never been black-pilled. That's never something that's happened. But I would say in my entire life I've always been red-pilled, even before I knew what the red pill was. Which in some ways is good, because that means I've never had the red pill rage, as they describe it, which is like when men are blue-pilled and they think, being soppy all the time and over-caring and, letting women walk over them is like, say in Britain they always go, "Oh, you're a man, you lose the argument all the time," and that's like blue pill stuff. You've got to be able to tell your wife or your girlfriend firmly they're wrong, not be mean about it, not turn it into an argument, just explain why they're wrong, and you've got to remain firm. If they don't like that, they're gone. And then so there's these men who are blue pilled, they get torn up in the divorce courts, and then they become super red pilled, so they shoot past me on the spectrum and become red pill rage, and they blame all women for the same thing, which is obviously preposterous. Not all women are the same. Some women are traditionalists, some women do want you to lead, some women understand the sort of hierarchy, and this will upset some people. I don't give a shit, right? Because the hierarchy is God, husband, wife, children. It's a top-down hierarchy. That doesn't mean the man treats her like a slave and bosses her around. He's the shepherd. The Lord is my shepherd, and then consequently, I suppose a vicar or a pastor would be my shepherd now, and then below that is me, and then my wife, and then the children, and that is the hierarchy through God. And I'm looking that, I accept that, and I know there are women out there like that in particular areas of the world, hence why my channel is called Adam the Afam. But some people get really upset about that, about the hierarchy of being man, wife, children, and I do know why. It's the silly feminist ideas that we're equal, but you can't have two captains of a ship. It's like a rally car. You can't have two people driving the car at the same time. You have a navigator and the driver. Maybe not the best example, because I suppose the navigator in the passenger seat is sort of being the guide. So maybe it's the man is the navigator and the woman's driving, but that kind of still doesn't make sense. So it's not the best example. But you get my point, is that two people cannot drive the car at the same time. Two people cannot steer the ship at the same time. I mean, maybe they can on an old ship if they need to go the same direction. But, football teams have one captain. If you're in the military, you don't have like two corporals. It's just bogus, and they think in a relationship you're gonna both be equals with each other in every way. You're not. You're gonna have you're with a man better at some things, and she's better at some things, and that doesn't mean you've got to stick to the sort of rigid gender roles that have been ascribed to us. Maybe the man cooks more often, and then the wife just washes the pots to do her half. It's not set in stone, but overall, men are the compass that guides the relationship, and it is your job as a woman to find a man who's worthy of that. Because although we didn't get that confused, they think that it's about just surrendering to any old man. It's not. It's about finding a good man. That's the solution. Right, mate? Morning. Well, getting close to church now. Well, sort of close. Still got a bit of walking to do. I feel like I've walked down the wrong path a little bit though, because I've never walked. Oh no, I'm on the right path. I'm on the right path. I'm going to say I've never actually walked this direction to the church. I've only ever walked back from it. And I suppose one other thing is I woke up this morning to see that the Philippines is having its own sort of riots now, and it is a bit crazy just how much everywhere in the world appears to be, I don't know what the word is. Not going through a revolution as such, but it's like close maybe. Everybody in the world has had enough of their governments taking the piss out of them. Seems like everybody seeks to resolve these issues. Like, I don't know if this will get me in trouble, but one thing I was saying to people recently is there's the quote by Mike Tyson that people have got too used to being able to chat shit online, not get punched in the face for it. And I kind of think the same with politicians. Politicians have got far too comfortable taking advantage of their electorate, stealing money from them, passing laws which aren't to the benefit of the actual people, and not getting the 1945 Italian dictator treatment. And for YouTube clarity, I'm not saying to go out and start, targeting politicians. Don't do that. It's not my point. At least here in the UK, we are committed to the parliamentary process. We're going to resolve these problems. We're not going to have to resolve to being barbarians, hopefully. But I do worry we are very close to civil war. And, although I don't want it, deep down sometimes I think it's just around the corner. But we'll have to see. When I was in Ricky Doolan's live stream, he said that we're not going to have a civil war. Not while we all have God on our side. So, I will take that as the most likely scenario then, if that is what Ricky says. And because I believe God guides me to these channels, these people, for a reason. There's purpose behind it for both my life and their life. And I think to keep me white-pilled, I was meant to see his channel and see him say that there will be no civil war here, which is good. One of the added reasons I feel white-pilled. I am warm now. I'm very, very warm. And continued learning Latin as well last night. I had to do it while I was at the pub, which wasn't ideal, but I kept my streak going. Just on Duolingo, I'm on a 385-day streak. I forget now. In fact, it'll say on my phone if I just check quickly. Apologies about this. Oh, I got it right, 383. So if once I do it today, it'll be 384. And finding Latin quite easy compared to learning Cebuano. I can still kind of read Cebuano, some basic level. But speaking it sometimes is really hard. You've probably seen my videos where I'm reading out of a book. And reading the Cebuano text sometimes is get my tongue around the words, my mouth hard. But Latin, obviously, you might not know, but around 20 to 30% of English words have Latin origin. So it is seemingly quite easy to learn, in my opinion. But I'm at the beginning stage. Maybe I'll get it harder. But I remember some things like dormi, sleep. Femina is woman, Deus is God, Est is it. There's maybe more. I'm not going to try and stress myself out too much. But, I think that'll be another language I'm learning. I mean, I'm working against my own best interests in a way, because I still never mastered German. And I never mastered Cebuano, and now I've detoured off again. But I will still keep learning Cebuano and German. But at the minute, I just want to get some Latin in. Seems, important. Some people might be a bit confused, especially because I'm Anglican. I learn Latin, but like I say, it's a language thing. I really like trying to learn languages anyway, or I have done for the past few years, since about 2022, I think. I started trying to learn languages. So maybe I shouldn't be too hard on myself. I do think if I'd have not distracted myself with Cebuano, I would maybe be fluent in German now. But that's life. I'm sure I'll get there eventually. Whew. Now I'm getting to Wentworth. Maybe I'll stop filming myself and I'll let you see the village where the church is. So that's the reason I came to this church, is it's so historic and lovely, and this is Wentworth. As you can see, maybe it's very old. It's an old ruling class family here called the Wentworth family. Wait, the Wentworth family? I'm drawing a blank. I'm sure it's the Wentworth family. Fitzwilliam, that was it. It's Fitzwilliam. People in my village will be very annoyed at me for not remembering that. I do remember. It's just made a mistake. But they owned lots of land. Built this church I'm going to now. We own land all the way as far as Sheffield and Rotherham, the other side of Barnsley, that's Stainborough or Staincross. Forget which one it is. Yeah, that's Wentworth, and this is the walk up to the church. And I imagine there will likely be lots of people I've never seen here before. I came Tuesday. I think there was 20 of us on Tuesday. Still a good atmosphere. I enjoyed it. I imagine there'll be a lot of people here still surprised to see me. And I feel good. Like before I came last Tuesday, I was filled with wrath because of what happened to Charlie Kirk and the Ukrainian girl Irina Zetruska, I think it was. Incredibly angry, not wishing harm, I suppose, hoping in some way, but that's gone since I came Tuesday. I know that it's not very good of me, and I don't want to pretend like I'm some saint Christian, because I'm not. I'm very new to this. You know, the whole point of me doing this is to become better, come closer to my faith and heritage, and hopefully help the Christian religion thrive in the UK. But you know, I am happy. I sound a bit out of breath because I've timed it up here to get here on time. Cheers. Yeah, this is the church. It's really large. That's the reason I came. You can see this church from where I live. You can just see sort of how tall it is. Truly huge. I can't remember when it was built actually. Maybe I'll have to look again in a while. But I'm going to stop filming for now. Maybe I'll try and see if I can film inside the church, if they'll let me. Maybe I'll do it if I come again Tuesday. It is really nice inside as well. And I'll leave this video here for now. So, see you in the next one. Thank you if you've got to this point in the channel. Make sure you like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.